Happy Tuesdays. Happy Tuesday. Look, so I'm taking my daughter to the doctor. She's sick along with everybody else in school. So she's going to heckle me the entire time I'm doing this. So let's get through it, shall we? This is how you run your business. It doesn't matter about kids, sick, not sick. I was going to move this to 11:30 and then I was like, who am I kidding? I'm going to forget it. So let me just do it early. I got to the doctor. We're sitting in the parking lot. No need to go in. The whole parking lot's full of other sick kids, so we'll just go in at our normal time. But I wanted to tell you how to use vendor groups. So you guys know what a vendor group is when you're doing something online. A lot of you guys are still doing this. Our company pretty much does not train at all to use vendor groups. We do use our own like customer or VIP type group, but we're not doing random vendor groups like with other vendors all over the internet. A lot of companies are still doing this, and there's a couple different ways that you can do them to your benefit. What you probably aren't going to get a lot of in these is sales, and I'll tell you why. You have to have the know, like, and trust for somebody to order from you. Now, when you're in there, what I've found, I've done a few just to see how they work. I've run some, I've participated in some just to like nose around and be like, is this a good use of my time or not? I genuinely don't work out of those at all, but I know a lot of you guys do, and I get a lot of questions. So I thought I'd just answer this is my opinion. You guys, this whole entire group is my opinion. You don't have to say we do it different or we build it different or any of that. I know that. This is how I've done it, and I've done it from 200 friends on Facebook and a dead algorithm to 6 figures and growing. So I'm just sharing what I've done that's worked. Take what you like and leave the rest. No need to comment below saying that's not how it's done. Whatever. This is just my opinion. Listen, working with women, this is what happens. A lot of people pop up and say, oh, it's not this or it's not that, or there's different ways to do things. Yeah, there are tons of different groups like this. Go put it all together and it's a puzzle. Make it work. Hey, Michelle. So vendor groups. So my ideal would be to always host them. So if you are constantly the participant, like you're constantly the bridesmaid, not the bride, that's a big deal. If you want to really be growing and reaching an audience, you would be the host. And let me just tell you, it's a big pain in the ass and it's a big undertaking and it takes a lot of organization. But if you do it the right way and you use the same group over and over again, so the premise of like starting these new groups over and over again, filling them full of people and then disbanding and never use them again is such a waste of valuable resources. Because when you fill these groups, like say you get 20 vendors, you tell them all to bring 50 people, you know, you get this group of what is that? I can't do math. 100, whatever the math is on that, almost 2,000, almost 1,000 people, whatever it is. The amount of people who are actually watching is very, very small. If you go in and you look at these lists of people, 75% of them are just previewing, meaning they're never going to see a post. They're never going to interact. They're never going to jump in. And that's because people are inviting them incorrectly. So when you hit that invite button straight from the group, most people will never see the invite. Most people will never hop in. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure you're inviting the correct way. So if you're a vendor in the group, or if you're hosting the group as a vendor and having other vendors in there, you need to teach your vendors and yourself that you are going to send a link to the inbox of the person who you want to join. Yeah, this takes a lot of time. Guess what? Direct sales takes a lot of time, you guys. I'm just going to spoiler alert right now. If you want to make 6 figures or more in direct sales, it takes a lot of time. So you are going to create a message like, hey, Susie, I'm doing an amazing vendor event. I'm going to have this special for only the people who are in here. It's a limited time offer only for people who are participating in the group. And there's going to be lots of fun and giveaways and lots of prizes. I hope you'll join us. Here's a link if you want to jump in. So when you jump in, they are going to hit the invite button. They're going to hit the link and they're going to answer the questions, which one of the questions should be, who invited you to this group? That's going to be in there to make sure that you get credit for your sale or whatever. And then they're going to jump in from there. If you hit the invite button, number one, they don't have to answer the question, so nobody knows if they're connected to you. I think the invite button, if you hit it, it will say you invited them, but most of them never see the invite. They never see the notification. They never accept it. Go look and see how many groups you've been invited to that you don't know anything about and you've never been inside. I mean, hundreds. I am invited to hundreds a month that I never go in. I never see the very first post. So make sure you're inviting the correct way. You want to send them a link with a message. Hey, I'd love for you to jump in. We're going to do this amazing thing this week, blah, blah, blah. Then ideally, you would be the host. So you can jump in somebody else's vendor group and you can let them do all the heavy lifting. And then you can only take very measly scraps of wins out of that group, which means a few sales. Maybe you start some new conversations and you have a few people join your group. To me, that's not a good use of my time. The time it takes me to schedule all these, the time it takes me to follow up, the time it takes me to participate. And if they're charging you, I don't think that's a good use. You want to be the host of these and you want to keep all of the people in the same group. So what does that look like? Maybe 4 times a year you do these. You get all your friends together who do direct sales. They all put all their people in one group. Then next quarter, same thing. You invite all the people to one group and you invite them correctly with a link, not just the invite button, and they're participating and you're doing giveaways and you're encouraging engagement and all the things. And that group stays active and the algorithm stays healthy. Making a group of 1,500 people that you use for 1 week and then you never see those people again is such a waste of everyone's time. It's a waste of the customer's time for joining. It's a waste of your time for putting it all together. Keep the same one group you host and you collect these customers over time, and that becomes your giant VIP group is basically what it is. And then when those members or those vendors are done, you would make them, like, take them out of the admin. So they're admin while they're posting, and then they're just a customer basically in your group after that. And then you could do that for maybe a year, fill it full of all kinds of people who said they wanted to be there, and then change the focus to just your stuff, the stuff that you want to, focus on, not the stuff that everybody else has been talking about. You could use that group however you want. Use that pool of people to your advantage. So if you are in other people's vendor groups, this is what I do. This is what I do when you invite me to your vendor group. I spend 1 day a week doing this. First of all, if you invite me to your vendor group or your personal VIP group, then I invite you to mine. And it looks like this. Hey, Megan, I just joined your group. Thank you so much for inviting me. I invited you to mine. I hope I'll get your support there as well. So if you add me to your group, I want you in my group. That's just how I roll. Like a group join for a group join. Okay. Happy to be in there. I like to comment, all of that stuff. But immediately the second thing I do is I hop into members and I go all the way through and I'm looking for people who I think are a good fit for my business or my opportunity. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking for other people's members who have opted into their group and who are active in there to come and maybe have a look at my group. So I'm sending friend requests. Like, I like her. I like her. I like her. These guys look good. Let me send. And 9 times out of 10, these people are in groups that have nothing to do with anything that I'm selling. So it's not poaching. It is, I'm meeting people from other groups. So I use a member group or a vendor group just like I would any other kind of social group on Facebook. I'm hunting for prospects for my business and my products. That's what I'm doing. So anytime you're added, the first thing you should do, go invite the person who added you to your group and then go hunting down through the list. Unless it's a group like this one where I expressly say, and you check the box that says, I will not friend from here. I will not send friend requests. So some of these groups have rules that say, do not friend from this group. If you do, you'll be banned, blah, 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 blah. So unless it's a violation of the group rules, you can go in there and hunt and look for people in different networks, because that's how you meet people outside of your network. If you're not growing your network, you're not getting outside of your little community of people, then you're not getting new customers, you're not getting new team members, things like that. So the vendor groups, they're super hot right now. All these vendor groups are coming up for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. They'll probably do one around Mother's Day. It's a really great way to meet new customers and meet new friends so that you can pull them over to your Facebook page. Do you want them just in your group? In my opinion, no. I want them to be personal friends with me because no one's going to buy from you unless they know, like, and trust you. And they can't get to know, like, and trust you in a vendor group where you're just like in another like VIP group where they're just trying to spam and sell you stuff like that. I would rather them friend me on my regular profile, get to know me there, and then I invite them to my group later. So I'm not just trying to scam a bunch of people in my group. I'm genuinely inviting them to become friends with me. When they know, like, and trust me, then they'll opt into my group and my services and my products. So think about how you're using your vendor group. If you can get 20 real friend requests of people who are opting into your profile as a friend to get to know, like, and trust you, who have active Facebook pages, who look like they're going to be doing business, who look like your perfect prospect for your business or your opportunity or your products, whatever, then that is a win, even if you sell zero in a vendor group. So I hear from so many people, oh, I'm not really doing vendor groups because it just wasn't worth my time. I wasn't making any money. Making money is not the goal of a vendor group. Hear me now. You need know, like, and trust to get a sale. You cannot get know, like, and trust in 7 days inside some holiday extravaganza. It's impossible. Your goal is to collect as many people and have real relationships started with as many people from those groups as possible. That's the goal. If you sell, amazing. But your goal is not to sell. Your goal is to establish a real relationship so you have that repeat customer, so you have that referral partner, so you have that person who wants to join your business. That's the goal. So go into these vendor groups really with a different mindset. I'm not in here trying to make $100. Great if I do. But if you can get 20 or 40 brand new people into your network, meaning on your profile page, who get the opportunity to watch you over time, doing the DMO, posting occasionally about your products or services, then that is going to be more valuable for you long term than if you just hop into some vendor group, you sell $100 and you never talk to any of those people again. So here's a little fun fact. I go back into vendor groups that I've been invited in, like even if they're years old, and I search for people in there. I search for people in there. I go in and I see who, if you're still a vendor in these old groups that have been disbanded, then you can go in and see insights and you can hit the top 10 people. Usually that's going to be the other vendors. But here's a fun fact. I friend all the other vendors. I do. I go friend every single one of those vendors. You know why? Because this time next year, half of them aren't going to be with their company anymore because it sucked. Half of them are going to be left already because they didn't make any money. Half of them are going to be like, oh, direct sales isn't working for me. And I want to have a conversation with them. Why didn't it work for you? What didn't you have? Here's what we have over here. I would love to give you another opportunity to love it. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we give. Here's how we solve those problems. And I'm talking to those vendors about joining my company, 3 or 4 months out. Hey, I met you in that vendor group. How's your business going? Oh, it's not? Or, oh, you were spending more money than you were making? Or, oh, you weren't getting support from anybody who would help you like make money? Oh, they signed you up and they dropped you? That's weird. Let me talk to you about my opportunity and how that's not going to happen here. So use your vendor groups to find other direct sellers who are not happy to join your team, to find new people to bring over to your Facebook page as friends so that you can develop that know, like, and trust. And bonus if you get some sales. Go into it thinking sales is the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. It is not the cupcake. The cupcake is you are in front of, if it's a group with 1,000 people, there are probably 200 that are actually in there milling around and showing themselves. Go search through those 200 people and pick out the people who you think are perfect prospects for you. If you haven't done the exercise where you document who your perfect prospect is and you go through that entire worksheet and build your perfect prospect, you need to. Everybody's not your prospect. If you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. Drill down to your perfect prospect. Pick the 5 key products that you want to sell. Think about what pain point are they solving? Think about who needs it. Think about what she looks like. How old is she? What does she look like? Where is she hanging out on Facebook? That is your perfect prospect. Then you are hunting for those people to friend to bring over to your Facebook page. It's not everybody. So if you're inviting everybody to your group, you're inviting nobody. If you're telling everybody about your business, You're telling nobody. If you think everybody is your prospect, and especially if your upline is telling you everybody is your prospect, stop listening. So your perfect prospect is very specific for each product or your business opportunity. And that is the person you're looking for. And you need know, like, and trust for them to pull that trigger. And you're not going to get it in 5 days in some holiday extravaganza. I'm telling you right now. So change the way you're thinking about going into these vendor groups. What I would do, the next vendor group that you do, pay attention to how it's run. Talk to the person who's running it. Then next year, you do your own. Start your own vendor group. Host your own out of the same group over and over again. Build that huge friends list. Bonus, more vendors will want to join your vendor group and your vendor event if the client base is bigger, and you just keep piling them on top of each other and using them over and over again instead of making 100 different groups that you disband and they never get used again. So that's my personal way. If you don't want to have to do vendor groups, then just do the activities in the guides in here, and you can literally sell off your Facebook page and you never have to do a vendor group again. I think I've done in 5 years 5 vendor groups. That's it, in 5 years. One of them, I joined somebody else's. I think it was Monet, because Monet kind of builds that's how they build their following, is with these vendor groups. So I did one vendor group with Monet, and I was a vendor in there, and then I hosted 4 on my own, and then I was like, all right, I'm done. I tried it. It was fun. I can spend my time doing something else, and if I'm talking to people on social media, I'm selling more 100% of the time, and I'd rather be talking to people on social media. So that's what I do. If you guys need help, let me know. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will be on time on Thursday. See you at 10. Bye.